Welcome to Carneades.org. Today we're going to be veering a little bit from our normal fare and looking at 10 reasons people leave the faith. Depending on where you live, leaving religion can mean that you lose a part of your identity, connections with your friends or family, or even your life or liberty. With all of these dangers, what leads people to leave their faith? This video will try to answer that question by discussing 10 common reasons that people leave the faith. If you are religious, you might see a loved one or even yourself along one of these paths. Hopefully this video will help you to understand people that have left the faith and come to accept them instead of trying to change them. My goal is not to make a philosophical argument regarding the truth or falsity of any particular religion, but rather to help everyone understand some reasons that people choose to no longer be religious, as difficult as it may be. Note, these paths are not mutually exclusive. Often the choice to leave will be due to more than one of these reasons, because it's a very difficult choice to make. Number 10. Immoral institutions. Religious institutions and members of those institutions often do things which are immoral, either by the codes of that organization itself, or acts which might be permissible within that organization, but are considered immoral by some of its members. Common examples might include the child sex abuse scandal and ensuing protection of perpetrators plaguing many churches, or the use of Islam to justify violence. People who leave for this reason may have no problem with the ideals of the faith, but rather do not want to be associated with an organization they consider to be hypocritical, dangerous, or immoral. They may see their continued participation in that religion as condoning, enabling, or even funding these practices, that their choice to be a part of that religion somehow sustains and encourages these immoral acts. Number 9. Interchangeability. It has been said that anyone that is religious is already an atheist with respect to all other religions. If you believe that Yahweh is the one and only God, you're probably an atheist with respect to Shiva, Allah, and Zeus. Some people look at all of these traditions and see just how similar they really are. They see no reason to believe one over another beyond a preference for the particular tradition they were raised in. These folks often take the arguments which they've seen used against other religions outside of their own and turn them inward and find their own religion wanting. They might believe that their religion is correct because it is the religion of peace, only to find that, in fact, many people die in the name of their religion too. They may have been told that their religion can claim historical connection to miraculous acts which were performed hundreds of years ago, only to learn that most other religions can claim the same connection. Seeing this interchangeability of religions often makes people come to the conclusion that if I doubt all of those other religions, I should probably doubt mine too. 8. The problem of evil. Now, I'm trying to limit the number of philosophical arguments in this video, since despite what philosophers would like, they are often less persuasive than many other factors. However, the evidential problem of evil, not the logical one, is unique. People who leave the faith for this reason bear witness to the horrors of the world and cannot reconcile this with a narrative that these terrors and atrocities are part of a greater plan. They may personally experience a significant loss or trauma, bear witness to one, or hear about the countless which happen every day around the world. Some that take this path cannot bear to be told that such horrible things were part of a creator's plan. Others may claim that even if such a creator existed, the best explanation is not that they are good, but that they are evil, based on the clear evidence in the world of all the evil acts. Since there is so much evil in their creation, and therefore, whether or not they exist, someone that would create such a world does not deserve belief or worship. Number 7. The Presumption of Atheism. Both Antony Flew, an atheist who converted to theism, and Bertrand Russell, among many others, argue that the burden of proof lies on the theist. And it's important to note that Flew argued this even after converting to theism. He just believed that that burden, in his mind, had been met. Now, Russell stated this argument a bit differently. He stated it in reference to a teapot, the famous Russell's teapot. To quote Russell, "If I were to suggest that between the Earth and Mars there is a china teapot revolving about the sun in an elliptical orbit, nobody would be able to disprove my assertion, provided I were careful to add that the teapot is too small to be revealed even by our most powerful telescopes. But if I were to go on to say that since my assertion cannot be disproved, it is an intolerable presumption on the part of human reason to doubt it, I should be rightly thought to be talking nonsense. If, however, the existence of such a teapot were affirmed in ancient books, taught as a sacred truth every Sunday, and instilled into the minds of children at school, hesitation to believe in its existence would become a mark of eccentricity and entitle the doubter to the attentions of the psychiatrist in an enlightened age, or the inquisitor in an earlier time. People who leave the faith for this reason may be of the mind that the very idea of faith in something without proof or reason is dangerous and irrational, since based on that one could believe effectively anything, and those beliefs could be quite harmful to the world, and in some of these people's views often are. They may find an ancient text and stories to be unconvincing proof. As with interchangeability, most religions also have old books and stories, and so why should these old books and stories be more effective than other ones? They, like a good skeptic, want their beliefs to be justified, so that if asked, they can give a logical explanation. If a belief lacks that logical explanation, they may be prone to get rid of it. You might think that religion can be logically defended, as Flew did, but there are quite a few arguments against those claims. If you want to learn about arguments for and against faith, check out other videos on this channel with a yellow background. Number 6. Immutability. Many, though not all, religions have great difficulty changing. They are often based in texts or ideas which existed a long time ago and haven't aged particularly well. Some people leave religion because it is inflexible and it does not adapt to change, which occur in many other sectors of life. This may have to do with social changes, like expanding the range of people with certain rights to women, people of different races, LGBTQ folks, or technological changes, such as electricity, driving cars, internet use, or healthcare. It may also have to do with beliefs espoused by the church, which may have made sense hundreds of years ago, but do not make sense now. Note, this particular path does not have to do with disagreeing with the outdated position of religion, though it can be partnered with that, but rather with wishing that religion would be able to change if evidence arose. This is not saying that someone that takes this path necessarily believes religion is wrong about morality or about the facts that it presents, but rather that if that religion were confronted with new information, this position wishes that that religion would be able to change. Number 5, religion itself is immoral. Separate from the particular practices of a religious institution or the dogma subscribed to by that religion, some people come to believe that religion itself is immoral. Religion by its very nature serves to separate people into us and them. Many religions place value judgments on us as good, virtuous, or going to heaven, and on them as evil, sinful, or going to hell. People that follow this path may find these distinctions in and of themselves harmful, creating an unnecessary confrontation where none should exist. They may think that we would be closer together by dispatching with these divisive labels that devalue the inherent worth of any human. They might be concerned that these value judgments are used to unfairly discriminate against those outside the group, despite them in fact being good people, while at the same time cover up the misdeeds of those within the group by glossing over them as saying, oh, they're a good religious person, even though they're in fact committing atrocities. Folks here may think religion of all types creates false narratives of heroes and villains in the world, which only reinforce harmful existing stereotypes, as opposed to bringing people closer together. Now, while someone may follow any of these paths to leave the faith, these next top 4 are the most common, and frequently they are paired with other paths already listed. More often than not, one of these top 4 is the central driving force which leads a person to leave the faith. Number 4, science. And science is used here broadly to speak both of science but also of empirical information received through the senses. Some people view the claims of religion as inconsistent with the claims of science or personal experience. These claims might be complicated, like the claim that all life evolved, or that the Earth is more than 6,000 years old. Or they might be simple, based on observation as much as any scientific principle. Like, humans don't live more than 200 years. It's impossible to raise the dead. Spitting in people's eyes does not cure them. People cannot speak to animals. People cannot perfectly predict the future. People cannot be forever youthful. People cannot survive for substantial periods of time while also being on fire. There is life after death, etc. These are things that both science may tell us is false, but also personal and empirical experience may tell us is false. This represents a trilemma of propositions, which cannot all be held, at least if you want to remain rational. 1, science and religion contradict each other. 2, religion is correct. And 3, science is correct. If you believe both 1 and 3, you cannot rationally hold 2 as well. This leads some people who believe in science to reject religion. Note that such people are not just committed to the claim that science is correct about the world, but also the claim that this contradicts the teachings of religion. These people may think that religion is a fantasy of a bygone era, which was once used to explain things that we do not understand, but has outlived its usefulness, and been replaced in many ways by science. This is not to say that one could not hold both 2 and 3 at the same time, that religion is correct and science is correct. But it seems a high bar for many of the people who follow this path to then show that one is false, based on some of the examples listed above. Number 3, practical reasons. This is a large category, which includes everything from leaving a religion that does not let you eat pork because you like bacon, to leaving a religion which does not believe in modern medicine because you want to be healthy, to leaving a religion which oppresses women because you are a woman, or have women in your life that you want to protect. Note that this does not necessarily mean that you think it is right to say, drink alcohol, or have premarital sex, though moral views often do go along with this. But rather, it's because you want to do those things, regardless of their morality. You might think that they're completely moral, or you might still hold that they're immoral, but you want to do them anyway. Someone might think that they should go to church on Sunday, but prefers to sleep in Sunday mornings. Someone might believe it is sinful to use modern technology, but love the feeling of driving a car. But someone may also choose to start eating beef both because they think it tastes delicious and because they no longer think it is immoral, though that will start overlapping with another path. As said at the beginning, many of these paths overlap with each other, and usually people have a lot of reasons for making the difficult choice to leave religion. Number 2, internal inconsistencies. Religion is often not merely inconsistent with other claims or beliefs, such as those of science or personal empirical experience. Frequently, religions are internally inconsistent, both in holy texts and stated dogma. These include such things as, in some places, claiming that all is predestined, while in others claiming that we have libertarian free will, libertarian in the philosophical, not the political sense. Prohibiting killing in some places, but encouraging it in others, claiming that only the gods of that religion exist, and then telling stories about how those gods of that religion fought other gods of other religions. It seems quite confusing if you think only one god exists, but then that god goes on to fight another god, or claiming that lying is wrong in some places, but encouraging it in others. Contradictions are irrational, and many people may think that they are a sign of a false belief system. If you have a set of propositions which contradict each other, you probably are not going to want to believe that set of propositions. Some people simply cannot bring themselves to hold contradictory beliefs. These people may leave the faith because they are being pressured into claims which directly contradict each other. They may be concerned with underdetermination, that basically if you have two false claims, you can choose which ones to get rid of based on your own personal biases, and that this leads to people simply inventing their own morality or reality and claiming that it is dictated by God. When religious texts are sufficiently opaque or up for interpretation, this leads to the possibility that the people that interpret those religious texts aren't having some access to a higher truth, even if you believe that that higher truth exists in those books, but rather they're just bringing their own preconceptions and ideas in and claiming some deeper authority to them, which people that follow this path may view as quite problematic and dangerous. And finally, religion is wrong about morality. This category is so pervasive that it's been difficult to list all of the other paths without reference to it. It is intertwined with many of them and can be seen in many different ways. Religions often claim to be the arbiters of morality. However, these moral codes are often in contradiction with individual intuitions and beliefs about morality. Many people believe that such things as abortion, drinking coffee, same-sex marriage, using the internet, premarital sex, celebrating birthdays, eating cheeseburgers, letting women speak in church, letting women drive cars, going where you want when menstruating, cutting your hair, and working any day of the week are completely moral. However, at least one religion, and frequently more than one, bans each of those things. Many people also think that practices condoned and encouraged by many religions, such as genocide, slavery, treating women as property, and stoning adulterers, are immoral. If you don't think those things are in your religion, read some of your holy texts again. These people may believe that their religion is incorrect about morality, and therefore is incorrect about everything. Others may find a religion which encourages such horrible things not something they want to be a part of, even if it's true. Even if they believe that the deities of such a religion exist, they may find it repulsive to worship anyone that would encourage humans to act in such evil ways, to enslave each other, to commit genocide. Even if such a God exists, they may believe that they should not worship them because that God is evil. Cultures and philosophies also have moral codes to which someone may ascribe if they disagree with a religious code. And many people who find that religion is wrong about morality simply find a different moral code that might be more logically justified or more in line with their intuitions to believe and hold to. Hopefully this helps you understand why people make the difficult and emotionally devastating choice to leave the faith. If you don't think that these apply to your religion, look again. Actually read your holy texts carefully. Examine your own beliefs. It is rare for someone to leave the faith for just one of these reasons. Usually, they will believe a majority of them, if not all 10. Though one in particular may be the straw that breaks the camel's back. I encourage you to question your own beliefs, especially about trying to convince others to take up your religion. It is likely that they have very good reasons for not being religious. Reasons that, if you are honest with yourself, you have probably considered as well. Are you an atheist, agnostic, or religious none? Are you bothered by people knocking on your door or stopping you on your way to work to ask you to change religions? Do you want a simple card that you can hand to these folks with a QR code leading to this video? Visit our Zazzle store to buy your own copy of these business cards, or send a message to Carneades on Facebook or Twitter, and if you send me that message, you might get a set of free cards yourself, depending on how many we have left. Watch this video and more here at Carneades.org, and stay skeptical, everybody.